and I just got one more thing to say. How about them Cowboys?
What's going on, Cowboy Nation and Angry Cowboy fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your boy, the Angry Cowboys Fan, back with another video on the silver and blue, the Dallas Cowboys. So if you're DC for life, no matter what, hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. As I was scrolling on X, I happened to come across the sit-down interview with Jerry Jones on the bus. The ones who were interviewing him, they had some pretty good questions about the future of the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones and through giving Trey Lance blind credit. He also talked about the culture of the Dallas Cowboys, as well as talking about being all in for the season. I also got a bonus clip from Louis Riddick that pretty much breaks down the culture issue at the Star. Also, forgive me for the audio during Jerry Jones clips. It sounds like he has a generator or something on the bus with him. So let's get into those clips and then we'll come back and unpack my Raw and Uncut. So, Angry Cowboys fans, let's take a listen.
I've drafted quarterbacks for the future. Okay? I would be reluctant to do that this year. That's an example.
Right. How does
and use a top pick for use our first pick for a quarterback this year for the future.
Right.
If you had an opportunity, there you are, 24, and the greatest thing since ice cream's he's sitting there.
Yeah, you'd be reluctant.
I'd be reluctant to do that this year. Let's call all into this year.
They were talking about Jerry Jones going all in this year. He made the example of not using the 24th pick of the draft to draft a quarterback. He said he would be reluctant in doing so this coming draft. My interpretation of what Jerry Jones says is that he has his quarterbacks in-house and is not worried about drafting another quarterback going into the future. Whether it's Dak Prescott or Trey Lance, Jerry feels no need in drafting a quarterback so early in the draft. That doesn't mean he won't draft a quarterback in the later rounds. Take a look at Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. In the second clip, Jerry talks about the culture problem in Dallas. Let's go ahead and take a listen to that, and then we're going to come back and address it. Let's go ahead and roll the clip.
I think you guys have a culture problem. Is what's keeping you back from playing in January?
What is culture? I'm asking, I really want to hear your definition of what culture is. I really can't say. When I look at our team, we need to be able to stop the run better, and we need to be able to run the ball better. If that's culture, then we got a problem.
So you don't see a sense of entitlement or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
No. With players.
Yes, with players.
Yeah. No, not at all. Our players that many deserve to feel good about themselves and feel good about the plays that they what they have contributed to the team. But those happen to be the very same players that get down on themselves more than anybody when they don't play with them. That is not a problem on this team at all. We don't have anybody pointing it over there at somebody else. They're pointing it at their own mirror. So I guess that could be defined as culture. But I don't see that on this team at all.
Jerry, this right here makes me double down on the fact that you shouldn't try to be so immersed in the player personnel unless you have to be adding or subtracting to the roster. You shouldn't be answering questions about the culture of our own football team because you have no idea what culture even is. Jerry gonna make me break down the meaning of the word culture in my Raw and Uncut, so make sure you stick around for that. But let's go ahead and get into this last clip from Louis Riddick on First Take. Him, Mad Dog Russo, and Stephen A. Smith discussed the culture problem in Dallas. Y'all want to listen to what Louis Riddick had to say, so let's go ahead and roll this clip.
Go ahead, Lewis.
Yeah, I don't think the culture has caused the shortfalls. I think the shortfalls have caused the culture issues. I think the shortfalls have caused people to get agitated, and all of a sudden people start looking for answers and start complaining and pointing fingers, and then family members weigh in, and then people are going on podcasts and they're pontificating about what's wrong with the team, and then all of a sudden it's picked up by all of us, and then we all start talking about all the things that really don't really affect what ultimately is causing their shortfalls, which to me is a talent issue, and it reared its head in this postseason on the defensive side of the ball when teams in November, December, January really go back to really how football used to be 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago when Dallas was running things, which is it's decided up front. It's decided on the offensive and defensive lines. It's decided by controlling the football, imposing your will, being able to stop the run, being able to play multiple different styles of football depending upon who your opponent is. And Dallas can't do that. They have to play one way. And if they can't play that way, they can't win. And when they can't win, people start talking and complaining and moaning about this guy's contract, this guy's interceptions, that coach's lack of timeout, mastery, that coach's lack of play calling in this situation. This is a personnel. They fixed some personnel issues on the defense side of the ball, especially on the first and second level, right down the middle. I promise you they'll win some playoff games, and this culture stuff will go away. It'll go away because we won't be able to talk about them falling short in the playoffs, and no one will have anything to complain about. I promise you.
Bingo! Louis Riddick hit the nail on the head. When the team's identity is questioned, and in this case of last year, exposed, the overall culture of the team is questioned. When the Dallas Cowboys are manhandling teams, you can see the culture at play. When the Cowboys get up on the scoreboard, you can see their culture at play. The thing is, their culture breaks down when the primary plan falls apart and we find ourselves down on the scoreboard. The culture falls apart when we turn the ball over and the other team capitalizes. The culture fades when Dak throws an interception or Micah Parsons becomes a non-factor in the game. When the game plan hits a barrier, the Cowboys struggle to adjust. Y'all ready for my Raw and Uncut? Y'all ready? Let's get it. The culture of the Dallas Cowboys organization is that of excellence. A championship culture that was cultivated throughout the years with Tom Landry, Jimmy Johnson, and Barry Switzer. The culture incorporates 5 Lombardi trophies, 8 NFC championship appearances, 6 NFC championship victories, and 22 NFC East Division championships. The culture involves a level of expectation to continue the legacy of winning. The culture is basically your team's mission statement, and it's pretty sad that Jerry Jones doesn't know this. Let's not get culture confused with identity of a football team. Last year, the Dallas Cowboys struggled with their identity on the field. At the beginning of the season, the Cowboys' identity was supposed to be a run-heavy offense to help relieve some of the pressure from Dak Prescott while having a physically opportunistic and imposing defense. This proved itself correct during the first 2 games of the season, but came to a screeching halt when a huge piece of our defense went down in practice. It came to a screeching halt when we saw the run game not holding up its end of the bargain. After the loss to the San Francisco 49ers, the team had to go back to the drawing board and scheme with what they had to work with. The identity they wanted wasn't available due to the lack of talent in those positions, the lack of a run game, the inability to stop the run, the inability to relieve some of the pressure off Dak Prescott and calling upon him to carry the entire team to a championship no matter the team's flaws. We went from plan A to plan D or E after that 49ers loss. The identity didn't work, causing the culture of winning to take a major hit. That culture has been taking a hit for going on 30 years. Honestly, That culture needs to be revitalized with another championship. Louis Riddick was absolutely correct in his analysis on the Dallas Cowboys. We lost our identity when things don't go to plan. We lost our identity when we have to improvise and come back in a close football game. If we don't get up on the scoreboard and make the opposing team have to rely on the pass, then we panic. Some would love to point out Dak Prescott's panic during the Green Bay game, but you could see the panic on the entire team when the Packers marched down and scored on that opening drive. When the Cowboys played tomato cans last year, you saw the identity in real time. You saw that championship caliber football. We all witnessed the team firing on all cylinders in all phases of the game. You saw that winning culture. When we had to face adversity, we panicked. Culture and identity out the window. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Football may be a physical sport, but the mental aspect of the game should never be ignored. It's just as important. You can have 11 guys out on that field who are the biggest men you have ever seen. If their hearts aren't the biggest that you've ever seen, you won't get far. If their will to win is not there, you won't get far. Jerry Jones talks about going all in this year, not realizing that there's 53 men on that roster who go all in every single time they punch in for work. Every single time that they're in the building. Why does it take what happened in the playoffs to get Jerry to want to pull out all the stops for his team to win a Super Bowl? It's kind of like the family only getting together when there's a death in the family. I remember him saying, we didn't know the check that he would write to win another Super Bowl. We can't reach the Super Bowl with a weak middle on defense. We can't reach the Super Bowl without a run game. We can't reach the Super Bowl when every time our identity is questioned, we fold. So, Jerry, if you want that winning culture back in the building, stop playing around with the ones that can help you get there, and let's get our team set moving forward. This has been your boy, the Angry Cowboys Fan. What did you think about what Jerry Jones had to say? Do you agree or disagree with Louis Riddick? Let's have that conversation in the comments section. If you're digging the content of this video and you want to help me get this content out to even more diehard Dallas Cowboys fans, drop a like and share this content. If you're DC for life, win, lose, or draw with Dak Prescott, without Dak Prescott, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell so you can stay up to date whenever I go live or whenever I release a video. I talked to my brother Sports Junkie on the phone yesterday, and I believe we're going to be combining forces and going live tonight. I got some stuff I need to get off my chest, Cowboys Nation, so make sure you are subbed up to the channel because you don't want to miss this. With that being said, this has been your boy, the Angry Cowboys Fan, and I'm out.